Boyce Watkins, and what I like to do periodically is do what I call 10-minute talks, and that's where I break down what's going on in the markets and all the things you have to look forward to and the opportunities that exist for you to make money and for you to do well. Do me a favor as you're watching, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and also if you stick around to the end of the video, I will mention a stock that I'm going to buy a big position in tomorrow that I believe will open some doors for you financially. At least that's my expectation. All right, so first off, let me give you some profit alerts in terms of what I expect to happen in the market this week. Basically, this is going to be kind of a slower week, what they call a low volatility week, largely because you have the market sort of closing out for the holidays, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to have the Wednesday the Wednesday market is going to close about 1 o'clock, and then you're going to have a half a day on Christmas Eve, and then you're going to have a full day again on the 26th. So the market's going to be shut down quite a lot this week, and it's not gonna even when it's open, it's going to be a little bit muted. So what that tends to do is when you have this low volatility sort of scenario, low volume scenario, is you tend to have a higher volatility. So I said low volatility, I didn't mean to say it that way. And so ultimately, what you're going to deal with is the possibility that your stocks can really move, that these suckers can get to moving and shaking and bouncing and twerking and going bananas. And you have to know how to stay calm during volatile markets, right? One part about being an investor is woo-sahing your way through the process and not freaking out because the market's freaking out because there is a possibility you could see some things move. Now, as I mentioned before, though, there are always buying opportunities. And when we get to the end, I'll kind of talk about some stuff that I'm personally going to buy. So maybe this will kind of help you through the storm and to realize that these down cycles are, or these market dips are major opportunities to make money. And so a few things happening this week. One, there's something called the Santa Claus rally that everyone hopes will pop up. And the Santa Claus rally is a research phenomenon that tends to happen around Christmas, where stocks can move up because the holiday week is a little bit shorter. And so the futures prices, which represent what the market expects to happen in the next few days, those prices have been going up because of the hope and the expectation that there will be a Santa Claus rally. Now, will there be a Santa Claus rally? There's no guarantee of that. And in fact, I'm not a person who typically trades on that kind of thing. In fact, I don't even like to really be a trader. I like to be an investor. However, if you see a dip, in fact, dips are more of an opportunity to buy than I think the expectation of some rally that may or may not manifest itself. But either way, though, the Santa Claus rally is something that some people look forward to. But there's also something they call the January effect, which represents tax loss selling, where right before the end of the year, a lot of people sell their dogs so they can write off their losses. A lot of people don't know this about business, but one thing about business that's really interesting and peculiar about our tax system is that people that have businesses that are really trying to minimize their tax burden, they don't want to appear to be profitable. They don't want to appear to be making money hand over fist. They'd rather appear to be losing money. And so what happens is a lot of times rich people don't really sell their assets that often. They tend to do what they call the buy, borrow, and die strategy, where they acquire assets and then they borrow against the assets and then they just die. And so when they do sell, a lot of times it's because they're letting go of their dogs. They don't like to let go of control of assets. So anyway, for those of you that just came in, I want to say what's up to everybody. It's good to see you. And also, I want to mention if you're in our Poweromics book club, you guys may or may not know that we just finished. We literally have read four Dr. Claude Anderson books in the last probably 6 years. I got to go see when we started. I think we started in 2018, actually, maybe 2019. We read Poweronomics together, which, by the way, I just talked to Dr. Claude Anderson, and he wanted me to tell you hello and how proud of you he is. And he wanted Black people to know that we cannot succeed without Poweronomics. Give me a yes if you've heard of Poweronomics. Everybody who's a fan of Poweronomics, put a yes in the chat or type the word Poweronomics in the chat because Dr. Anderson deserves that respect. So we read Poweronomics. We read another book called Black Labor, White Wealth, which is the greatest, most comprehensive study on reparations and what Black people are owed that's ever been written. Third, we read the Black History Reader together every week. And then fourth, we just finished another book called Dirty Little Secrets. So I decided that our next book that we're going to read is actually a book written by the one and only Marcus Garvey. And this is A Message to the People. And so I have not read this book, but this is the one we're going to read together. And I'm just going to randomly grab a page and see what he has to say. And he says here, men and women who want to be of use to themselves and humanity must have good character.